discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economic, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
Now to our stories. Troops of the 6th Division Nigerian Army, in collaboration with other security agencies, have intensified efforts to combat economic sabotage in the Niger Delta region. These operations, carried out between December 23rd and 29, 2024, led to the dismantling of 20 illegal refinery sites, arresting 8 suspected oil thieves, deactivating of 21 boats used for criminal activities, and recovering over 90,000 liters of stolen petroleum products. The achievements were outlined in a statement signed by Lieutenant Colonel Danjuma, Acting Deputy Director of 6th Division Army Public Relations. The statement detailed that following a tip-off, troops discovered a massive tarpaulin reservoir containing 37,000 liters of stolen condensates and a wooden boat in the Buguma area of the Asari Toru local government area. Similarly, at Ogajama in Buguma, Bakana, troops encountered an overpowered criminal element in a gun duel, dismantling illegal refinery sites and intercepting 9,000 liters of dual-purpose kerosene. 3 suspected oil thieves were arrested during the operations. In related operations, troops in Dagema, Omok, and Eche local government areas recovered stolen products and destroyed illegal refining equipment, including locally made ovens and boats. At the fringes of Imo River, 7 illegal refinery sites and over 10,000 liters of stolen crude were confiscated. Efforts in Bayelsa and Akwa Ibom states yielded similar successes. Troops dismantled illegal refining sites, intercepted smuggled petroleum products, and uncovered vandalism attempts on a Shell Petroleum Development Company flow line in Ekeremo local government area in Delta State. Kinetic and non-kinetic operations disrupted the activities of economic saboteurs, ensuring enhanced security in the area. Pan Niger Delta Forum has officially announced the appointment of Engineer Bex Dagogo Jack as its substantive national secretary. The confirmation followed the approval of his nomination by PANDAF's national leader, Chief Senator Dr. Edwin Kiagbodo Clerk, OFR, CON, and the chairman of the Board of Trustees. The national chairman, Ambassador Godknows Igali, explained that the appointment aligns with the resolution reached at the Special General Assembly held on October 24, 2024. At the Assembly, River State elders within PANDAF were tasked with nominating a suitable candidate to fill the vacant position. Engineer Dagogo Jack's name was subsequently submitted to the Board of Trustees in a formal letter dated December 9, 2024. The letter was signed on behalf of the River State elders by Chief Rufus Ada George, former governor of River State. His extensive experience includes serving as Commissioner for Works, Housing and Transport in River State and as the chairman of the Presidential Task Force and Power during the Goodluck Jonathan administration. Engineer Dagogo Jack is expected to leverage his wealth of experience to strengthen PANDAF's mission to promoting the interests of the Niger Delta and fostering unity and development across the region. According to analysts, every action a politician takes is for their interests first before anyone else's. Speaking on Atlantic Television Network program Atlantic Open Conversation, public affairs analyst Honorable Kingsley Akumefule says it's unnecessary for these elder statements to be exposing the secrets to the public.
I discuss politics. I would always say that politics is political and it's all about interest. As far as you remain a politician, everything you do is all about your interest first. and then perhaps the interest of the people around you. You know, so for our elder statesmen, first, it was not too necessary to begin to come to the fore to discuss themselves and make whatever they have had in the secret to the public. I think is not very necessary. However, Excellency Nyesom Wike had kept quiet. It would have probably meant that almost everything the former governor, Dr. Peter Odili, has said about him were true.
Honorable Kingsley believes that had the FCT minister kept quote in the face of the allegation leveled against him by the former governor, it would have seemed that those allegations were true.
Excellency Nyesom Wike had kept quiet. It would have probably meant that almost everything the former governor, Dr. Peter Odili, has said about him were true.
This comes after Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, fired back at the former governor of Rivers State, Dr. Peter Odili, saying that an elder statesman should not be a trader and a sycophant all the time. Woman identified as Jessica has been arrested by detectives attached to Special Area Rumodumaya Police Division in Obiakpo local government area of Rivers State for allegedly stripping naked, bathing pepper on husband's 13-year-old alleged female rape victim. ATN gathered that the incident happened at Rukboko in Obiakpo local government area of Rivers State. Narrating the incident, the mother of the girl, identified as Goodness, who did not want her full name mentioned because of stigmatization, said she was at her workplace on Sunday evening, December 29, 2024, when some persons called her that her neighbor, Jessica, had stripped the daughter naked and torturing her. The traumatized mother stated that before she arrived home, some neighbors had rescued her daughter from Jessica. Explaining further, the mother of the alleged defilement victim said upon interrogation of her daughter told her that on Christmas Day, December 25, 2024, a female neighbor who is a friend to Jessica took her, alleged raped victim, to Jessica's house. Minutes later, Jessica's husband, Mr. Ebuka, sent the wife, Jessica, and her friend on an errand. Ebuka bounced on her and allegedly raped her after threatening to deal with her if she refuses. In the meantime, the National Coordinator of Center for Basic Rights Protection and Accountability Campaign, Prince Wiro, has condemned the said she would get back to our reporter. She was yet to do so as at the time of filing this report. Violence clash arising from chieftaincy title conferment on an indigene of Abo headquarters of Ndokwa East local government area, Delta State, has left one person dead and 3 others sustaining varying degrees of injuries in the community. The bloody clash that was between members of opposing factions in the community occurred during the chieftaincy title procession, causing pandemonium in the area. Though the circumstances surrounding the clash could not be ascertained at the time of filing this report, sources said it may not be unconnected with some disagreements that preceded the event. The development has generated tension in the area, with the chairman of Ndokwa East Local Government Area, Mr. Vincent Osilonya, imposing a 7 p.m. to 6 a.m. curfew in the community. Confirming the incident, Police Public Relations Officer of the State Police Command, Mr. Bright Edafe, said the deceased died in a hospital where he was taken for treatment. Anambra State's Governor Chukwuma Soludo has blamed opposition politicians in the state for the heightened fear of insecurity, saying they were playing politics with the security situation in the state. Soludo, in a statement by his spokesman, Christian Aburime, said security is not only the business of the state government, but the duty of all, whereas in Anambra, many are seeing it as a means to discredit his government. The governor, however, acknowledged that security threats exist in the state, but warned against over-amplification of the challenge. He also called for the recognition of government efforts while pushing for continued improvement. In the same vein, he promised to demonstrate commitment in addressing security concerns through consistent support to law enforcement agencies, from providing logistics to ensuring adequate funding. Ogun State's Police Command has said the missing 7-year-old girl, Mercy Akande, who was kidnapped at Sangota by a customer of her mother, has been found in the Ayetoro area of the state. The command's public relations officer, Omolola Odutola, disclosed this on her X handle, formerly known as Twitter, on Monday. ATN reported that the girl's mother, a POS operator, reported that her customer, a yet-to-be-identified male adult, was responsible for the kidnapping. According to the mother, the regular customer visited the shop, bought food for the 7-year-old girl, and later sent her on an errand to buy a sachet of water. In an attempt to retrieve the sachet of water, the customer met the child midway, and before the mother, who was attending to other customer, could look in the direction of her daughter to see what was going on, she could not find the man or her daughter. However, Odutola on Monday said the command, in a swift operation, rescued the girl and subsequently arrested the suspects involved in the kidnapping. Analysts have stated that if Nigeria truly practices democracy, such situations wouldn't be happening. Speaking on Atlantic Television Network program Atlantic Blowouts, socio-political analyst Esquire Manki Adubabari said the terrorists terrorizing the indigenes of Nigeria were permitted to migrate into the country from the Sahara.
Let me say it straight. We don't have democracy in Nigeria. We're not practicing democracy. In fact, presently we're in the position of state capture by a majority criminal-minded, self-imposed political opportunists parading themselves around as leaders in Nigeria. And they know what they are doing. And I've said it. If what we say we are practicing, if we say we're in democracy, what is happening in Nigeria cannot happen. Do you know that the terrorists that are killing Nigerians, I mean indigenous population, that are being killed, these are terrorists that were permitted by the government of Nigeria to emigrate or migrate into Nigeria from the Sahel. The governor of Bauchi State, what's his name, Bala Mohammed, is walking around free. He declared that Allah gave Nigeria to Muslims all over Africa, that they should come to Nigeria and occupy. And these people are killing Nigeria's indigenous population with absolute impunity. Under the last administration, Adesina had the guts and the audacity to tell indigenous population in Nigeria that they had better given their ancestral land to these terrorists rather than being killed.
Speaking further, the analyst, while quoting from the Constitution, said Nigeria is a free state wherein a person is free to worship as they pleased.
You talk about, what do you call it, that Nigeria is a free state wherein you can worship anything you want to worship. You have right, what we call freedom of religion. You can worship whatever you want to worship. That is not my problem. But a situation like this,
This comes after the Oluwa of Iwo, Osun State, Oba Abdul Rashid Akambi, has asserted that no government can deny Muslims in the southwest the constitutional rights to adopt Sharia law. Lagos State chapter of the All Progressives Congress has announced that the state will hold local government elections in 20 local governments and 37 local council development areas, LCDAs. This clarification comes in light of the Supreme Court's judgment that granted autonomy to local governments. ATN reports that in Lagos State, there has been some confusion regarding the establishment of the 37 LCDAs, which were created from the existing 20 local governments. Since these LCDAs are not recognized in the Constitution, there has been speculation about whether the state would continue to conduct elections for the 37 LCDAs. However, the APC chairman in Lagos State, Cornelius Ojelabi, described the suggestions that the polls might fail in 57 councils as misleading distractions. Ekiti State Governor Mr. Biodun Oyebanji on Monday signed the 375.79 billion naira 2025 budget into law. The budget passed by the State House of Assembly and presented to the governor for assent totals 375.79 billion naira with 51%. Allocated for recurrent expenditure and 49% for capital expenditure. Speaking in Ado-Ekiti, the state capital, while signing the document into law, Oyebanji said the budget, which is a product of wide consultation with the people of Ekiti State, was prepared based on expected economic realities over the next year. He added that the top priority has been given to agriculture and food security, wealth creation, and infrastructural development in the 2025 fiscal year. The governor, who emphasized that the successful implementation of the budget depends largely on the availability of funds, lauded President Bola Tinubu and his team for the economic reforms that have been implemented to address the structural problems confronting the country's economy and promote sustainable development. Oyebanji also praised the Ekiti State Internal Revenue Service for improving revenue collection and generation through various strategies without placing additional burdens on the people. He assured that his administration would continue to provide the necessary support to strengthen ECAS and improve its revenue generation drive. Kano State government has enrolled inmates in its healthcare contributory scheme toward enhancing free and quality healthcare services for those in custody. The Public Relations Officer for the Nigerian Correctional Service, Kano Command, CSC Musbahu Kofar Nasarawa, disclosed these in a press statement on Monday in Kano. Kofar Nasarawa stated that the Executive Secretary of the Kano State Healthcare Management Agency, Dr. Rahila Aliyu Mokhtar, announced these during her visit to the State Controller of NCOs, Mr. Ado Salisu, in his office. Aliyu Mokhtar explained that the enrollment of inmates into the healthcare scheme was approved by Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf so as to provide free access to basic and comprehensive healthcare services for inmates while in custody. She also assured the controller of the state government's commitment to supporting and assisting all inmates medically while in custody. The Executive Secretary also urged the inmates to continue to pray for Governor Yusuf toward the sustenance of the provisions of democratic dividends to all. Responding, the Controller of Corrections Kano State Command, Mr. Ado Salisu, commended the state government for its relentless support and assistance to the command. Salisu noted that the gesture would motivate the inmates to become productive and law-abiding citizens after their release. Governor Ahmed Usman Ododo of Kogi State has signed the 2025 appropriation bill into law. While signing the budget into law, the governor said the move paves the way for implementing the state's budget, which aims to stimulate job creation, infrastructure development, food security, and staff welfare. The 2025 budget estimates totaling 582,000 582,404,119.489 represent a 43.34% increase from the revised 2024 budget of 406,321,130,013. According to the projections, the budget is expected to address key sectors such as education, healthcare, infrastructure, agriculture, and economic development. Presenting the appropriation bill for the governor's assent, the Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Aliyu Umar, urged Ododo to spread the budget tagged Budget of Inclusivity to all the state's constituency for enhanced development. He said that by signing the appropriation bill into law, Ododo has demonstrated his commitment to shaping the financial future of Kogi State. Members of the Kogi State House of Assembly on Monday held a valedictory session in honor of the late former Deputy Speaker of the House, Right Honorable Enema Paul. ATN had earlier reported that the former Deputy Speaker of the 8th House of Assembly passed away on December 14, 2024 after battling an undisclosed illness. Lawmakers took turns to eulogize their late colleague, describing him as a man who contributed immensely to the development of Kogi State. The Speaker of the House, Right Honorable Aliyu Yusuf, in his remarks, said the former Deputy Speaker was a man of uncommon characteristics and individual and unique features that set him apart, and is already being missed by his colleagues, family, friends, and the entire Kogi State community. Aliyu noted that in his time in public service, both as a former commissioner and deputy speaker, he epitomized leadership with integrity, wisdom, and dedication. He was a man deeply committed to the growth and development of Kogi State, serving as a bridge between governance and the people. Governor Amadu Finitri of Adamawa State has signed into law the state's 486.2 billion naira 2025 fiscal appropriation bill passed by the State House of Assembly, signing the 486,218,247,600 bill termed Budget of Service. The governor thanked members of the House of Assembly for their support and assured people of the state that the budget will be implemented transparently with every kobo accounted for. Notable officials at the budget signing ceremony included Deputy Governor Caleb Tebwa Farauta and Speaker of the State House of Assembly Bathia Wesley. Governor Finitri had on the 16th of this month presented the total of 486.2 billion naira budget proposal to the House of Assembly, which in turn passed the budget as proposed. A breakdown of the budget shows an allocation of 137,256,217,610 or 28.23% for recurrent services and 348,961,829,990 or 71.77% for capital projects. Gunmen have abducted two pastors of the Church of the Brethren in Nigeria, better known as Ecclesia Yanuwa, Nigeria. The EYN is a church denomination with headquarters in Kwahi, Adamawa State, and church branches mostly in Adamawa State and the rest of the Northeast. The affected pastors were resident pastor Reverend James Kwanyang of EYN LCCN Mbila Malibu in Song local government area and his secretary Reverend Ishaku Chiwar. The state's police command indicated on Monday that the abduction took place in the night of In the night of Sunday, December 29, the command PRO SP Suleiman Ngoroje disclosed that the command had already deployed personnel to rescue the two clerics from their abductors. The EYN president, Reverend Daniel Mbaya, who also confirmed the abduction, urged security personnel to take immediate action to ensure the safe release of the pastors. He urged the EYN church family and other Nigerians to join in praying for the release. He added in his response to inquiry just before noon on Monday that the church was yet to hear from the abductors. Police operatives attached to the Gitata division in Karu local government area of Nasarawa state have raided a kidnappers' hideout and rescued at least 3 victims. A statement by the spokesman of the command, DSP Rahman Nansel, said the rescue followed information that a Volkswagen Sharon vehicle with 3 occupants traveling along the Kaduna-Kefi highway was attacked and the victims whisked away to an unknown destination. The victims include Abdul Salam Shuaibu, Sani Shuaibu, and Blessing Okorie. The statement explains that upon receipt of the information, the divisional police officer in the area, SP Zax Wambai, swiftly mobilized his men to the scene and combed the vicinity. The statement said the Commissioner of Police, CP Shatima Joro Mohammed, in the comment lauded the officers for a job well done and urged them to sustain the onslaught against criminals. National Drug Law Enforcement Agency Kwara Command says a total number of 929 people were arrested for hard drugs-related offenses between January and December 2024 in the state. The state commander, Mrs. Fatima Popula, disclosed these on Monday during a news conference at the NDLEA headquarters in Ilorin. Popula said those arrested included 839 males and 90 females in the state within a year. She explained that the command conducted a series of activities to suppress the supply and demand for hard drugs, adding that 2,642,103 kilograms were seized within the year in review. The commander said that 185 hard drug users were apprehended and referred to the Drug Demand Reduction Unit for brief interventions and were reintegrated with their families. Popula said the command, in conjunction with the state government, had also started drug integrity test titled Drug Testing Policy, in which 261 fresh students of Kwara State University, Malete, were tested. The command, however, said the rehabilitation center that could accommodate 200 people for treatment and counseling of drug addicts had not been completed due to paucity of funds. While you're watching the Global News in Atlantic Television Network, we'll be back after this break. Do stay with us.
From the lines across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring all the sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economic, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today. only on ATN.
Thanks for staying with us. This is the Global News in Atlantic Television Network. And now to the rest of our stories. President Bola Tinubu has condoled with the government and people of the United States on the passing of former President Jimmy Carter, who died at the age of 100. Carter, a Nobel Peace Laureate who rose from humble beginnings in rural Georgia to lead the U.S. from 1977 to 1981, died peacefully at his home in Plains, surrounded by his family, the Carter Center said in a statement. President Tinubu described Carter, the 39th President of the United States, as a beacon of service to humanity, demonstrating to leaders worldwide the profound impact of dedication beyond the highest office. According to a statement by Special Advisor on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, President further noted that as a Nobel Peace Prize laureate and global statesman, President Carter devoted his post-presidential life to the causes of peace, democracy, and the eradication of tropical diseases. Reflecting on Nigeria-U.S. relations, Tinubu recalls Carter's historic visit to Nigeria in March 1978 and his three-day stay at the State House in Marina, Lagos State. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has approved the establishment of a federal university in southern Kaduna, marking a significant step towards addressing educational and developmental needs in the region. Vice President Kashim Shettima, who revealed these, also disclosed that there are ongoing discussions to establish a federal medical center in Kafanchan, Kaduna State. Shettima gave the hints at the weekend during a condolence visit to the Kuka family on the death of His Highness Yohana Sidi Kuka, the Agwam Akulu of Ikulu Chiefdom and family member of Bishop Matthew Hassan Kuka of the Catholic Diocese of Sokoto in Ikulu Kingdom, Kamuru, Zangon Kataf Council area of Kaduna State. According to a statement issued on Monday by Senior Special Assistant to the President of Media and Communications Office of the Vice President Stanley Nkwocha, Shettima said, "With Senator Katung and a member of the House of Representatives, we have reached out to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and he has consented to the establishment of a federal university in southern Kaduna." Speaking at the residence of the late traditional ruler, the Vice President emphasized the commitment of the President Tinubu administration to the development of southern Kaduna, citing the appointment of General Christopher Musa as Chief of Defense Staff as evidence of the President's attention to the security needs of the region. Presidency on Monday demanded that the Bauchi State Governor, Bala Mohammed, retract what it called his inflammatory statement on the tax reform bill. Tinubu's Special Advisor on Media and Public Communication, Mr. Sunday Dare, stated these in a post he shared on his X handle on Monday morning titled, "We will show Tinubu our true color." Dare was responding to Mohammed's statement from Wednesday, December 25, 2024, during a Christmas homage by the Christian community at the Government House in Bauchi. The governor opposed Tinubu's tax reform policies, describing them as anti-Northern and favoring only a section of the country. He warned that if these policies continue, the northern region would show its true colors. In response, Mohammed also emphasized that such reforms could lead to economic setbacks and threaten national unity, urging the federal government to reconsider and adopt more inclusive policies. However, the presidency said urges him to retract these confrontational remarks and redirect his focus toward productive dialogue with the federal government regarding any concerns about the Tax Reform Act. It said the recent inflammatory rhetoric of Mohammed regarding the Tax Reform Act and direct threats toward the federal government is unbecoming of his office as a state governor. Dare stressed that Nigeria's path to prosperity requires unity of purpose rather than divisive rhetoric. He urged public officials to rise above regional sentiments and political grandstanding to embrace the collective vision of a stronger, more prosperous nation. Federal government on Monday expressed sympathy with the government and people of South Korea following the tragic crash of Jeju Air Flight 2216. The crash occurred on Sunday, December 29, 2024, when the Boeing 737-800 returning from Bangkok, Thailand, attempted to land at Muan International Airport in southern South Korea. The plane skidded off the runway and collided with a wall, resulting in a fiery explosion. Out of the 181 passengers and crew on board, 179 lost their lives, leaving only 2 survivors. In a statement issued by the spokesperson for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Abuja, Kimiebi Ebienfa, the federal government conveyed its condolences to the bereaved families and expressed solidarity with South Korea during this difficult time. The Nigerian government described the crash as a tragic loss and reaffirmed Nigeria's support for the South Korean people. Former Nigerian President Olusegun Obasanjo has called on political leaders to draw inspiration from the life and enduring legacy of the late United States President. The former peanuts farmer and global humanitarian lived longer than any president in U.S. history. Celebrating his centennial birthday in October, the Democrat served as president from 1977 to 1981, navigating economic and diplomatic crises during his tenure. Obasanjo was also Nigeria's military head of state from 1976 to 1979. Speaking in an interview on Monday, Obasanjo described Carter as a humble leader who remained deeply involved in public service long after leaving office. An example he believes leaders around the world should follow. Obasanjo stressed that true leadership extends beyond the corridors of power, emphasizing the responsibility of using experiences and connections gained in office to advance humanity. Reflecting on the current global climate, Obasanjo lamented a deficit of leadership across all sectors, particularly in politics. He called on leaders, both current and former, to contribute actively to fostering global security, stability, and prosperity. Obasanjo lauded Carter's unwavering commitment to global affairs and his courage in holding successes accountable. Touching on the broader landscape of global leadership, Obasanjo briefly addressed Donald Trump's presidency, acknowledging the United States' pivotal role on the world stage. Lawyer and civil rights activist Edward Ejumbi Omaga has been declared wanted by the Nigerian police force. Edward had in a publication alleged infractions in Guarantee Trust Bank, GTB Limited, demanding investigation into the activities of the Chief Executive Officer, CEO of Guarantee Trust Holding Company, PLC, Segun Agbaje. Subsequently, the Nigerian police, in a letter dated October 10, invited the activists for questioning. According to the letter, the police said they were investigating a case of criminal defamation, cyberbullying, economic sabotage, and conduct likely to cause breach of peace. In another letter dated 25th October 2024, the police said it is pertinent to remind you that your non-response is stalling the investigation into this case. In another post on MPF's official Facebook page on Monday, the force Public Relations Officer Olumiyiwa Adejobi announced that anyone with knowledge of Edward's whereabouts should immediately contact the nearest police station. And now we move on to ATN business. 125,000 barrels per day Warri Refinery and Petrochemicals Company, WRPC, has commenced operations. Mele Kyari, the Group Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, disclosed these during a tour at the facility on Monday. ATN reports that the development is coming a month after the rehabilitation of the Port Harcourt refinery situated in Rivers State. Addressing the team during the tour of the facility began on Monday, Kyari said this plant is running. Although it is not 100% complete, we are still in the process. President Bola Tinubu has expressed his profound joy at the reopening of the Warri Refining and Petrochemical Company by the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, describing it as another remarkable achievement in 2024 that has strengthened Nigeria's hope in his administration. The president, in a statement by his spokesman Bayo Onanuga, said today the Warri Refinery returned to operation weeks after NNPC Limited restarted the 60,000 barrels per day at the Port Harcourt refinery in November. The statement further said, with Warri Refining and Petrochemical Company going into operation after several years of inactivity, President Tinubu has once again expressed his administration's determination to ramp up local refining capacity and make Nigeria a hub for downstream industrial activities in Africa. It stated that the All Progressives Congress-led administration of President Muhammadu Buhari awarded the contract for the complete rehabilitation and overhaul of the 4 state-owned refineries. President Tinubu noted with confidence that with the 125,000 barrels per day Warri Refinery now operating at 60% capacity, is administration's comprehensive plan to ensure energy efficiency and security is entirely on course. He praised the Mele Kyari-led management of the NNPCL for working hard to restore Nigeria's glory and pride as a major oil-producing country. He enjoined NNPCL to accelerate repair work in Kaduna Refinery and 150,000 barrels per day second refinery in Port Harcourt to consolidate Nigeria's position as a global energy provider. Central Bank of Nigeria and the Securities and Exchange Commission have approved the 147 billion naira rights offer of FCMB Group. This was disclosed in a statement issued on Monday, which was signed by the company secretary Olufumilayo Adedibo. This marked the second approval from the CBN in days on the first tranche of capital raising exercise of banks this year. It was revealed that the offer was oversubscribed by 33%, attracting 42,800 investors, with 82% subscribing. Via more convenient digital channels such as the bank's mobile app, and ushering in over 39,000 new investors to the FCMB Group. The total amounts raised and verified by the regulators is 147,508,468,568.60 and 144,559,788,701.30 was absorbed through the issuance of 19,802,710,781 ordinary shares at 7.30 naira per share, bringing the total post-offer issued shares to 39,605,421,562 shares. FCMB said that it has also obtained regulatory approvals to use the net proceeds of the public offer to strengthen the capital base of its banking subsidiary. For City Monument Bank, with a new fund injection, the new capital base of FCMB stands at over 240 billion naira, which exceeds the minimum requirements for a national banking license. The firm said it is aiming to retain its international banking license and would be able to achieve the target with the subsequent phases of the FCMB Group's capital program. Telecommunications operators in Nigeria have warned that service disruptions are imminent unless tariffs are adjusted to account for escalating operational costs. The chairman of the Association of Licensed Telecommunications Operators of Nigeria, Gbenga Adebayo, issued the warning in a statement on Monday. Adebayo described the telecom sector as under siege, citing soaring operational costs driven by inflation, volatile exchange rates, and rising energy prices. He noted that despite these challenges, tariffs have remained unchanged, leaving operators struggling to maintain quality service and expand the networks. The telecom chief warned that without an immediate tariff adjustment, operators may resort to service shedding, leading to limited availability of telecom services in certain areas. Service shedding in telecommunications refers to the deliberate reduction of limitation of telecom services in specific areas or at certain times due to operational challenges faced by telecom companies. He further emphasized that the financial burden on operators has reached unsustainable levels, endangering the sector's ability to modernize and maintain critical infrastructure. Despite the challenges of a turbulent year, Adebayo expressed hope for a more sustainable future, provided action is taken promptly. He stressed that the current challenges are not temporary and called for immediate intervention to secure the sector's long-term viability. You're still watching the news on Atlantic Television Network. Up next is International Tidbits. Death toll from a road accident in southern Ethiopia has risen to at least 71, according to a local police official. Spokesperson for the Southern Sidama Regional Government, Wosinyele Simeon, disclosed this in a statement late on Sunday, saying that the accident occurred in the Bona district. According to him, at least 71 people had died, including 68 males and 3 females. He added that 5 are in a critical condition and taking treatment at Bona General Hospital. Blood images shared by the Health Bureau earlier showed a mass of people surrounding a vehicle partially submerged in water, with many seemingly attempting to help pull it from the waters. Other images shared by the Bureau appeared to show bodies, some covered in blue tarpaulin, lying on the ground. Road accidents are common in Ethiopia, Africa's second most populous nation, where roads are often poorly maintained. Director General of the World Health Organization, Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, has called for an end to attacks in hospitals in Gaza after Israel struck one and raided another in the past few days. Tedros made this call in a post on his official X handle on Monday. The Israeli military had said that Hamas militants were the targets of a strike on Gaza City's Al-Wafa hospital on Sunday, which the Palestinian Civil Defense said killed 7 people. According to health authorities in the enclave, and Israel's military Israeli forces also detained more than 240 Palestinians, including dozens of medical staff, from Kamal Adwan Hospital on Friday. Among them was its director, Hussam Abu Safia. The Israeli military said the hospital was being used as a command center for Hamas military operations, and those arrested were suspected militants. It further stated that Abu Safia was taken for questioning as he was suspected of being a Hamas operative. Tedros, who last week was caught up in an Israeli strike against Yemen's main airport that he said might have cost him his life, called for Abu Safia's immediate release and said the Al-Ahli hospital had also faced attacks. The World Health Organization chief said the UN Health Agency and partners had delivered basic medical supplies, food and water to Gaza's Indonesian hospital and transferred 10 critical patients to Al-Shifa hospital. U.S. President Joe Biden on Sunday declared January 9th a national day of mourning for Jimmy Carter, calling on Americans to visit their places of worship to pay homage to the late U.S. leader. ATN reports that Jimmy Carter, former President of the United States of America, USA, died at the age of 100 years. He was the 39th president of the U.S. and a Nobel Peace Prize recipient. Jimmy Carter died in Plains, Georgia on Sunday. United States announced on Monday a $2.5 billion security assistance package for Ukraine as Washington races to provide aid to Kyiv before President-elect Donald Trump takes office. Trump's November election victory has cast doubts on the future of American support for Ukraine, providing a limited window for billions of dollars in already authorized assistance to be disbursed before he is sworn in next month. Monday's aid includes a $1.25 billion military drawdown package, which allows the Pentagon to take weapons from U.S. stocks and send them quickly to the battlefield. An additional $1.22 billion will be funded via the Ukraine Security Assistance Initiative, under which military equipment is procured from the defense industry of partners. The drawdowns from the Defense Department shelves will involve drones, ammunition for high mobility artillery, rocket systems, optically guided missiles, anti-tank weapon systems, air-to-ground munitions, and spare parts, according to a separate statement from the U.S. State Department. Ukrainian Defense Minister Rustem Umerov hailed the fresh aid package in a post on social media. The latest assistance for Ukraine follows an announcement at the beginning of the month of a nearly $1 billion tranche of drones, ammunition, and equipment. Azerbaijan said on Monday that Moscow had promised to punish those responsible for the downing of an Azerbaijan Airlines plane that Baku says was shot at by Russian air defenses. The Azal Embraer 190 jet crash landed in Kazakhstan on December 25th, killing 38 of the 67 people on board. Azerbaijani President Ilham Aliyev has demanded that Moscow accepts responsibility for the mistakenly shooting the plane as it tried to make a scheduled landing at Grozny Airport in South Russia. Russia has not confirmed that one of its air defense missiles hit the plane, though President Vladimir Putin told Aliyev in a phone call over the weekend that the systems were active at the time and that he was sorry the incident took place in Russian airspace. Azerbaijan's general prosecutor said in a statement on Monday that the head of Russia's investigative committee had told Baku that intensive measures are being carried out to identify the guilty people and bring them to criminal responsibility. Aliyev had issued a rare forthright condemnation of Moscow, a close partner of Baku, on Sunday. He said the plane was hit by accident, but was angry that Russia had apparently tried to hide the cause of the crash. Demanding that Putin admits responsibility, Aliyev also accused Russia of putting forward alternative theories that clearly showed the Russian side wanted to cover up the issue. And now we bring you sports news. Eimba have officially unveiled former Super Eagles forward Brown Ideye. Ideye has been training with the 9-time Nigerian Premier Football League champions for the past few weeks. The 36-year-old is making a return to the NPFL after his stint with the defunct Ocean Boys in the 2006-2007 season. The striker last played for Kuwaiti club Al Yamouk. Manchester City have identified Ola Aina as a potential replacement for Kyle Walker. Walker, 34 years old, is nearing the twilight of his career and City are already looking for a long-term successor. Aina has been one of the standout performers for Nottingham Forest in the Premier League this season. The 27-year-old has scored twice in 19 league appearances for Forest in the current campaign. The Nigerian international can operate both as a right back and left back. The Chelsea Academy product has 6 months left on his contract at Nottingham Forest. Boxing legend Mike Tyson has confirmed his return to the ring in 2025, but this time it's not in the way fans might expect, Marca reports on Monday. Tyson, whose last fight ended in a loss to Jake Paul on November 15, 2023, has been teasing a major comeback, much to the curiosity of the boxing world. The 58-year-old's last appearance in the ring was against Paul at the AT&T Stadium, a fight that raised eyebrows due to the 29-year age gap between the two competitors. Despite the scrutiny, Tyson expressed gratitude for the opportunity and even admitted he couldn't remember the fight. The fight, which ended in the unconvincing defeat for Tyson, may have marked the end of his boxing career, but fans are still holding on to the hope for one more iconic appearance from the former undisputed heavyweight champion. Should Tyson officially retire, he will bow out of a career that spanned over 4 decades, leaving behind a remarkable 50-7-0 record, 44 knockouts, and a legacy as the youngest boxing champion in history. However, Tyson's potential return to the ring is now being overshadowed by an unlikely new challenger, Joe Gatto of Impractical Jokers fame. Gatto, known for his comedic antics, has thrown his heart into the ring, joking that he will be facing off against Tyson in 2025. And now we bring you entertainment news. Controversial social critic Very Dark Man has revealed that 78 million naira has been recovered from the 180 million naira reportedly stolen from his NGO accounts. The announcement came just days after he disclosed on Instagram the hacking of his organization's website. He expressed gratitude and revealed that the investigation is ongoing, with plans to pursue the suspect's accomplice, who has fled to Ghana. Recall that VDM made headlines on Friday, December 27, when he revealed to the public that over 180 million naira was stolen from his NGO's account in a hacking incident. Many, including media personalities, found this unbelievable. Grammy-winning Nigerian artist Damini Ogulu, aka Burna Boy, has distanced himself from comparisons to Afrobeats legend Fela Kuti, declaring, "I'm not Fela, I'm Big 7." The statement was part of a series of comments Burna Boy made on Monday via Instagram about authenticity and integrity on social media as the year winds down. In his post, the self-proclaimed African giant emphasized that his focus is on positivity, peace, and prosperity. Burna Boy also used the opportunity to address what he perceives as a growing culture for dishonesty. And that's the size of the package on Global News for tonight. Before we go, another look at the major stories. We told you that Army destroys 20 illegal refinery sites. You also heard that NDLEA arrests 929 suspects within 12 months. We also told you that Tinubu mourns death of former U.S. President Jimmy Carter. You heard that telcos threaten service disruptions over rising costs. U.S. announces $2.5 billion security assistance package. We also told you that Manchester City targets Aina as workers' replacement. VDM recovers 78 million naira NGO funds. That's it on the Global News. Thank you so much for watching. I am Victor Peter. Remember, you can follow us on our social media platforms, Twitter at Atlantic TV Net, Facebook and YouTube at Atlantic Television Network, Instagram at Atlantic TV Network. Remember, peace and unity are always the pathways to progress. Thank you for watching. Good night.
From live across the ocean.